Okay, so at this point, we're gonna go ahead and base our face. And I start with the eyebrows and I use the edge of the foundation stick because I like to get down into those little hair ridges. Even though it's flat, it's still like these little ridges that are sticking up. So I like to make sure all my makeup gets down inside there. So I'm gonna do the other eyebrow the same exact way. And once I've done that, I'll go ahead and use the actual stick flat against my face as I started to do right here. So I like to go above, far above, and like way under it because when we go to actually smooth out all this base, I'm not going to actually touch the base that's on the top of my eyebrows. So because to me, the sponge picks up the makeup off of the eyebrows, and then I just have to add again. I personally like to use a liquid foundation just under my eyes because the Krylon sticks are extremely thick, and that's a personal preference of mine. And since there's no hair we're trying to cover up, it still does a sickening job. So you'll try it out. You may like it. And I go inside my nose too because I have these little veins on the side of my nose. I know it's gross. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and pick up my sponge, and I'm gonna start underneath the eyes where I did the concealer because it's the thinnest, and just start dabbing. I use a dabbing motion. I don't use like a pulling or a swooping like motion. I dab a lot. Even when I'm doing colors on my eyes, I dab. I'm a dabber. So notice that I'm not going right on top of my eyes or on top of the actual eyebrow itself. I'll leave that makeup just as thick as it was when I put it on there. So, and yeah, I'll go underneath the eye still, but the little bit of pen stick, or this, is that a good word, pen stick? Anyways, the little bit of stick foundation that's on my sponge that gets under my eyes is really not a big deal. But anyways, just go ahead and start smoothing it all out. And if you don't have a lot of hair underneath your chin, or your underneath on your neck, or your actual chest, I don't really put a lot of base on there because what are you trying to cover up? And besides that, it gets on your costumes and ruins everything. So I kind of just barely go right underneath my jawline, and that's it. But I don't have facial hair there anyway, so I had it all lasered off. But anyways, so at this point, everything is looking really, really good. And I'll go ahead and pick up my sponge for the base powder, which is, I mean, I can't really suggest anything. It's just you have your color as far as that goes. I press into my eyebrow. That's the first spot I go to, is straight to the eyebrow, and I'll use a pressing motion. And then I'll swoop around and go into the eye socket itself, making sure that there's no spots that I didn't miss. Go ahead and do the other side. And I kind of really load the sponge, and I'll press the eyebrow once really in there, and then I'll pick it up again, and I'll start to do the rest of the eye and all around the surrounding areas, making sure to smooth that entire area. I don't do a whole, like you'll see, I don't really pick up a whole lot, but when as far as, except for what's on the actual sponge from doing the eyebrows, I will go back and pick up more to do underneath my actual beard line, because I want to really cover that up good, that area. And then I just like to get it smooth. Go up underneath a little bit. That's as far as I go. See, didn't really pat too much there. And just make sure it's nice and smooth and even. Ready for the next step.